Hello and welcome to the Kitchen Knitter podcast. My name is Suzanne and I live in Cheshire in the northwest of England, and today is the 1st of November. It's been a while since my last podcast. Just time has run away with me really, but I think everything I showed you in my last podcast that I was knitting, I changed my mind about and frogged it back. So I'm going to show you what I've got on my needles now, and there's a couple of sewing projects I'll show you as well. So the first thing I'll show you is, I think I showed it to you last time, and I've made very little progress. These are the Queen Charlotte socks, and this was my first attempt. You see, my first attempt at a patterned sock. And the pattern goes all the way down, all the way around, and then it goes down. You see? Better, yeah. And it's a pattern by Twin Set and Pearls. It's a lovely pattern, and the wool is by Sherry Iris, called Meadowgrass. And this is as much as I've done. I am now coming down, and this is the first sock. Shameful. So there's the pattern. I knit on 9-inch circulars, but when I get to, I do it the Winnick Mum way, her pattern. I cast on DPNs, do a couple of rows, so I always end up with that little thing to sew up there, and then I go on to the 9-inch circulars all the way down. Now the pattern was written for, I think it's Rachel, I'm sure one, because there's Twin Set and Pearl, it's twin sisters, and one of them does actually knit her socks on 9-inch circulars. However, it's magic loop, so there's a front and a back needle. I can't knit on magic loop, so I just put markers in and pretend I'm doing magic loop, if you like. So, but when I get to the heel, and I always do a heel flap and gusset because I can't do any other heel, and I think it's a nice fit. I have half on the circular needle, but then I put the stitches I'm using for the heel flap on DPNs and do it that way, right down to doing the, I never know which bit's which. Is that the gusset bit there? That bit there, that little bit there. And then I put them back on the circular needles while I do the decreasing. And I think I'm still in the middle of decreasing. I think I've got a little bit left to go. It's gorgeous yarn. It's a gorgeous colour. It's sort of a creamy. It's cream and green. It's absolutely lovely. The light is not brilliant today. I've tried doing this in a couple of rooms because we've got it's absolutely awful out there. It's raining, but it's grey. Yuck. And the light isn't very good in anywhere in the house, and because it's raining, the conservatory, the noise on the conservatory roof isn't good. So that's the sock, and the pattern goes down the back there. There are a couple of mistakes in this, I think, but well, what is it? A blind man and a galloping horse. I'm really quite pleased with that. That's I will do pattern socks again. They're obviously take me a bit longer than a plain pair, but yeah, I like those. So yeah, I will finish them, and hopefully, oh, I shouldn't say this, should I? But next time I podcast, they should be finished. Well, they should be finished, really, shouldn't they? I mean, so that's that one. And what's in this back here? Oh. When, again, the last podcast I showed, I haven't brought the pattern down with me, but it was a very plain cardigan with a lot of sort of shoulder shaping, and I just couldn't get my head around it at all. I got a really good tip from Gaynor, Tales from Cuckoo Land, in one of the comments about how to do a twisted increase, but there was loads of them. And then there was something else I had to do at the same time, and it was all getting a little too, for such a plain cardigan, it was getting, it was too much brain power for me. So I tinked it back, and I am doing, this is it. There's not much to show you because again, it is such a plain cardigan, but I can show you what I've done. So this is the back. It's knit in pieces. So this is the back, and it's boring, but I'm knitting it on. I've got some caked up, but I'm knitting it. I've got one on hedgerow yarns. This was the one I decided to do the other part. I don't know how you pronounce it. It was JI, and I'm sure it's German. And this is alpaca silk and linen, which is absolutely gorgeous. And so the pattern I've decided to do, I went back old school and I went to this pattern book, Rowan pattern book, and it's a pattern by Kim Hargreaves. Did I not put a? Oh, there it is. There. And this is called the Fennel cardigan, and I'm doing this, and it's plain as plain. I'm showing you the pattern there, which isn't good. I'll show you a picture of it. Oh, where is it? There. I'm doing the cardigan. It's very old school, in a Rowan magazine, number 24, and the pattern is by Kim Hargreaves. So that's what I've done. I'm doing the back. I've nearly finished the back. Actually, I've just got to do the shoulder shaping, and then I'll do the sleeves and two fronts. And I don't mind seaming things up. I mean, that's how I always used to do it. So it wasn't something I thought about. It had to be done. Knitting top down there's a lot to be said for it, but I don't make very neat. Under the arms you've got to add on stitches, and I don't make very neat job of it. But I suppose it comes with practice. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. So that's one thing on the needles. That's my sort of telly knitting, I suppose. It's a 4-ply yarn, so it takes forever, but it's plain knitting, and I can watch. I'm not very good at watching television and knitting. I think I've said before, but it can be on in the background or something, and I can be looking up and looking down. But I need to get on with that. The other thing I decided to do was I wanted a cardigan, a sort of just a big cardigan I could just pull on over my dresses instead of a coat. And again, I've gone back. Well, this is the pattern book, and it's Winter by Kim Hargreaves. She no longer is with. It's a while since she left Rowan and became independent. So she produces these books about 4 times a year, 3-4 times a year. I don't buy all of them because she has very much a signature style, and you can see a lot of it repeated through the patterns. But I'm going to do a marker in there. I'm going to do that one. In fact, I'm doing that one. You see, and I do like cables because they're, in my opinion, easy to do, but look quite, I don't know, quite striking, I think is the word. And I'm knitting it in Rowan. It's what the pattern calls for. I'm going to need a bigger bag as I knit it, so I'm knitting it in the Rowan Alpaca Classic, which is what the pattern calls for, and I'm knitting it in shade 116, which I believe is called Soft Shell, and that's what that colour is there. It's a sort of a dirty pink, really, but it's, you see, the light's not brilliant. I haven't got any overhead lights on because it would just all it looked too bright then, everything. So I've not got far with it but That's what it looks like so far. And it's easy, but it does look, you know, as if you've made an effort, doesn't it? With cable needles in there. And you're only actually cabling on 2 rows, with obviously space between. Is that how I gone? No, that looks all right. Yeah. I always have to. Yeah. Is that going the right? Yeah, that's going the right way. Yeah. Yeah. So I hope it's going right, because this is not, I wouldn't imagine this is an easy, you have to knit it double. So it's quite a, there's quite a lot of wool to buy, but I'm buying it bit by bit, which just going up to John Lewis and getting a few more balls at a time, because I think I need 20. I risk mixing up the dye lots, but what I could do is split them, because again it's knitted in pieces. This is the back. I could knit the sleeves in one dye lot, and hopefully it'd be all right. But it was a big layout. Yeah, so that's that one. And I can't remember what it's called now. It's called Nippy. There's the. There's the. Yeah, oh, I'm not even showing you the name now, am I? So rusty at this thing. Nippy. There's some quite nice patterns in this. The other one I would like to do. I'll show you the big picture rather than the pattern. Is this one? Is that one? I think that's lovely, but that's knit in big wool, and I find that, and you've used quite big needles, I find it a bit clumsy. But I never know. Might have a go. But I mean, I'm going from fingering to big wool is quite it's quite different. It's quick, but so that's that one. So I've got, see, I've got 3. There's 3 projects already. And and in here, you see, there's four projects on the needles. That's ridiculous. I can't cast anything else on until I finish this, and I've finished in the middle of a row, which is not good. And this is moss stitch. I'm knitting all this in moss stitch, and I don't mind moss stitch. Some people don't like it, do they? They find it faffy going backwards and forwards with the wool, but I quite like it. I like, to be honest, I like the effect of the moss stitch. And I'm dipping this in my, well, it was hot lemon and water. It's probably warm water and lemon now. Nice. And I'm knitting this in Rowan felted tweed. And again, old school. I've gone back to an old Rowan pattern. I'll show you again, by Kim Hargreaves, and it's that one, and it's just a very, I haven't knitted this before. I knitted it, well, when the magazine came out, so that's a while ago. This is number 26, and I knitted it in felted tweed, but it went into the washing machine and felted. So I just decided, and it's knitted in pieces, but there's no borders or anything. You just I just thought, oh, you knit 4 pieces, sew them together, and that's it. And you can't see for a hair, but there's a button. There's a button there, just one button, and then there's a button underneath to sort of stop it drooping too much. So I just need to remember not to put it in the washing machine, and I'm knitting it in Rowan felted tweed, and the colourway, they don't put the names on the ball bands. It's shade 172, but it's called Ancient, and it's a lovely sort of dark, it's coming out a little bit lighter on there. It's a dark mossy green. It's lovely. So I've got that, and that's as much as I've done. That's the only just started this. That's the back, and of course because it's like a little crop cardigan, you don't knit forever. So that's that one. Or the other thing I'm doing, I put myself forward for a test knit. Now I can't show you too much, but I can show you the wool I'm going to use, and it's a test knit for twin satin pearls for Joe, and it's a shawl. And the call came for test knitters, and I on Instagram, and I put myself forward saying I haven't done a test knit before. I'd love to do it, because this would be my first test knit, and I was taken on. So I've got my all in here in my lovely woolen nature bag from Claire, and I'm going to knit it in. Well, I'm knitting it in. There we are. West Green Loft yarns, and the colourway is Truffle, and it's a sock yarn. So I'm knitting it. I had a bit of bother when I was winding this up. I put it on the Swift and didn't really make sure it was all on straight. But anyway, that's it. This is a sort of it's a truffle. It's like a pinky putty colour. It's coming out very pale. That's a bit better. That's a bit more like it. And you know, I see podcasters do this. I'm not sure if it's working, but it's certainly coming out a little bit better than it was. Yeah, that's a bit more realistic. Yes. So that's my. I'm not sure if I can show you the pattern or not. I think the pattern's been up on Instagram. It's called the Harbourside Shawl, but I'll keep it under wraps just in case. So that's my knitting. And I think in my last podcast I showed you a pattern I was going to knit called the Fennel, this pattern here. And I chose, again, I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I chose to use a rustic yarn. It didn't look right, so I frogged it back. It was nothing to do with the yarn, nothing to do with the pattern. It was me kind of thinking, oh, I'll choose something different. I'll think for myself, I think. And it just wasn't right. So I went back to the pattern, and the pattern, I mean, I was using DK on it. It calls for DK, and this one is an Annabelle Williams Bluff Cove DK, 100% Falkland wool. So I have bought from West Yorkshire Spinners. You know, I haven't even checked the gauge. "28 rows, 22 stitches. 20 rows, 29 stitches. Oh, be fine. So I bought some skeins of this, which is West Yorkshire Spinners fleece, and it is 100% British wool, blue-faced Leicester, and it says on the label it's reared, sheared and spun in Britain, and it feels really nice. And this is the colourway Fossil. Now again, it's coming out really dark, but it's grey. It's looking a bit greeny there. See if oh, that's better. It's lovely. So I'm going to I might do a swatch because the tension is a little bit out, but I think it'll hang properly, it'll drape, whereas with the rustic yarn it would sort of sit there, wouldn't it? Like that. International sign for just sit there. So I will get these finished before I start on that, I think. I've also bought some Let Lopi yarn because I'd like to try some colour work. I haven't brought it down to show you, but a while ago, well, it was 2019, I went to Yarndale and I bought a kit from Mary Wallen because I thought I'd like to do some Fair Isle, and I bought probably this was the wrong way of looking at it, but I thought if I bought a kit for a small garment, article, accessory, then I would be able to cope with it. So I bought the kit for the hat, the little tam, and it uses a lot of colours at once. So I think really I should have gone for a jumper with just a small amount of colour work on the shoulders. Anyway, I haven't started it yet, but that's something I will do when I finished all these. So there's a couple of things in the pipeline, and but that's all I have on my needles. Well, that's all I'm prepared to show you I've got on my needles. I think that's a better way of putting it. There are a couple of projects which I haven't done, like my habitation throw. I haven't worked on that for weeks. I think because it was too warm and knitting a blanket in the middle of a heat wave. We had a bit of a mini heat wave in September. It's just not comfortable. I don't like it. I like this time of the year, like autumn and winter. By the time I'm getting a bit fed up with winter and the dark nights, and it's spring and the bulbs are coming through, and I think, oh, that's lovely. And I love spring, and the beginning of summer, I like May, June. Maybe that's still classed as spring, and get to July and August, no, you can keep it. No, I've had enough by then. No. And the garden starts drying up as well. My garden runs out of steam in July. It's lovely other months, but it's running out of steam, and it's looking a little wrecked with all this wind and rain we've had over the weekend. It's looking a little sad. So what I intend to sew are, again, it's my comfort zone. I'm going to make it's the Ellis dress I'm going to make, and it's on the back, and I'm going to make it's that one, but I'm not going to put the pockets on. I don't like big pockets like that. So it's just the sleeves, and I've made a few of them. I have made a few like that too, but I've decided I like sleeves. I look better in sleeves, I think. So I'm going to make, again, not stepped out of my comfort zone. I ordered some material from Merchant and Mills. I've ordered this, and I cannot remember the colourway. It came up on Instagram as some new stock about a month ago, and I really wanted one of everything, but I picked this, which is a sort of, it's muted pinks, really. That's coming up a bit brighter. That's like that. Yeah, it's sort of all the pinks, sort of rust and pinks. So I got enough to make and then I bought this one. Now this colourway, this fabric is called Night Swimming, and again it's a linen, and I'm going to make an Ellis dress. They're the ones that fit me nicely. I can make them now without looking at the pattern, and I just like them. I just, I'm very again, it's my comfort zone, and I don't step out of it very often. When I do, it goes horribly wrong sometimes. So that's my sewing. I'm also making, I've started it, but there's not much to show. I'm going to make a Piggy playmat for Christmas for my little grandson. And this is again Lewis and Irene. There are other manufacturers, there are other fabrics out there. And I can show you the block where I'm doing, it's this one. So you do 5 like that, and then you do 4 with a different border around. And this is the This is one of the borders. Oh, that's a better one to show you. It's a free pattern, and so that's how you put them together. You alternate. So this is one of the blocks where I put the tractors the right way up. So, I don't know if you can see. So I've got to do 5 of those, and then you put, which is the border for that one? It's the blue one, and then you put a border around. Oops. Like that. Is that called sashing? I'm not sure. So you put that around, all around. There's a smaller piece for that side, so you do that. So that's one block, 5 of those, and then the other block is. So I've only done the squares of this, where you have to sort of take one square and then you fit a little triangle on, and you get that square, but you get the diagonal, and that border is in this. That's the border for that one. So it shouldn't take me long to put these together. I've got them all cut out and ready to go. I need to correct the one where the tractors are upside down. I didn't realise it was one directional. All the other fabrics I've used are you know, non-directional, if that's a word. But the tractors, yeah, I think it's, no, that one's all right, but this one, yeah, this is the one. There we go. Upside down tractors. So I'll unpick that and put it right, and I'm hoping to work on it this weekend. We've been away a couple of weekends now, spending time with our children. So we've got a free weekend this weekend, and I'm not working tomorrow. I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm not working tomorrow. So I intend to cut one of these out this afternoon and then sew it tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. I've done all my housework. Everything's done today, and I can just have a day of sewing tomorrow. So I could maybe even do a bit of that too if I get fed up doing this. So that's that. Yeah, that's that. And what I've received in the mail is my advent calendar. Now I'm not sure if I should show you really, because some people may not have received theirs yet. So I'll look away if you're waiting for yours. But this is the Bird Street Yarn advent calendar. It's no good me telling you to look away when I haven't told you what advent calendar I bought. Oh dear. And it's this gorgeous box that you can keep, because it's got the lovely secure, and you get a pattern. I won't show that because you might want that to be a surprise anyway. And there's all the packages. Oh, gorgeous. So that's my advent calendar. I only bought one this year. I thought I'd be sensible. So that's all my sewing and knitting. Oh, it's gone cold, never mind warm. I'm at the tail end of a non-COVID cold, which has left me with a really irritating cough. Irritating for me and everybody else around me, really. The other thing I thought I would talk to you about is what I've been reading. That's the other thing I like to do, is read. I'm curbing my time on Instagram because it was just, I could read when I was on Instagram, scrolling through, which is always, there's some lovely things on Instagram, but you've got to scroll through some things that you're not so keen on, and there's also the adverts too. But the book I've been reading, and I'm reading at the moment, is this one, Two Women in Rome by Elizabeth Buchan. And I've read a few novels by Elizabeth Buchan before, and she just tells a really good story. I'm not terribly far in. It's just beginning to get going. But I'll read the. I'm not very good at describing books to people and things, but it says Lottie Archer arrives in Rome newly married and ready for change as she takes up a job as an archivist. When she discovers a valuable 15th century painting, she is drawn to find out more about Nina Lawrence, the woman who left it behind. Nina seems to have led a rewarding and useful life restoring Italian gardens to their full glory following the destruction of World War II. So why did no one attend her funeral in 1978? So there's a bit of a mystery. There's lots of, up to now, there's a lot of description of the city of Rome, and I've been to Rome a couple of times, and I love Rome. It's a really, really good read. And I've also treated myself to a couple, I love these books, of Persephone books. This one is The Rector's Daughter by F.M. Mayer. I think this is new. They're new on their list. And The Deepening Stream by Dorothy Canfield Fisher. I've read one of her books before. I think it was called The Homemaker. And they're just really, really good stories. A lot of it can be social commentary, and the books are beautiful to handle. You always get a bookmark. The end papers, they tell you where the end papers come from. It's some wallpaper or a drawing or something like that. Yeah. And this one, The Deepening Stream. It doesn't really say what it's about. It just gives you a after supper, can I go out to play Rose in every dining room? It was mere formula. It meant I am going out to play unless I am stopped, and it was followed by a running dive out of the kitchen or dining room door into enchantment. That a silent child meant a child in mischief was an aphorism of all those parents. And The Rector's Daughter. This is I think it's a rector's daughter who wants to marry someone not quite suitable. But I love those books. I've got quite a few of them. In fact, I like a whole bookcase of them. You know, sort of. They're just so lovely. But the story, they're just good stories, and they're Persephone books. They're now in Bath. They were in Lamb Conduit Street in London, in Hoxton, but now they've moved to Bath. And it's just they publish. It's usually women. I think there are one or two male writers have snuck in, but it's sort of between the wars and forgotten writers. But they're all very good writers, but forgotten. And they're lovely. So that's what I'm reading. That was what I'm knitting. This is what I'm sewing. And I've managed to talk for 33 minutes. I took some footage of the garden this morning in the pouring rain, and I might, if I can. The thing is, I need to learn how to write things at the bottom of the screen, because a couple of times I've called someone, I've the wrong name, and I want to be able to sort of apologise on the screen, as it's whoops, and I have no idea how to do that. I do everything on my phone, and maybe I need a laptop or something. I don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to do it on my husband's iPad. I don't know. He's got a laptop, but it's his laptop. He doesn't want my stuff on it. So I will. I'll endeavour to do that. And there was some. I did take some footage, not on the best day. I thought when I thought about it, again, it had been raining. Was my walk to work. Which is quite nice. It's quite a nice walk to work, but I was conscious of having people in the footage, and also cars, number plate recognition, and all that sort of thing. So I think I can put snippets in, because it's a quite nice walk. I mean, it's a very straight walk to work. I get onto the main road and I walk straight down. But as you're walking down, you can see the cage and Lime Park, and then. You get a little bit further down, and the church steeple comes into view, and it's nice. It's a nice walk. It's a very straight but nice walk. It takes me about 25 minutes. I do sometimes go in the car, but it's about 25 minutes. Yeah. I'll see if I can put it on, see if it works, see what happens. So hopefully before Christmas I might be back on with some finished items. I'm not going to cast on anything else until I finish those, and I might be able to show you. The test knit has to be finished by the 22nd of November, and my husband said that's when it all falls down, isn't it? But oh, ye of little faith. So no, I've got to get on with that, crack on with it, and by then I might be able to show you. Yeah. Well, thank you for watching. I've had since my last podcast, I've had a few new subscribers, so thank you very much. It's lovely. I can't believe that many people want to watch this. Yeah, it's lovely. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching. Thank you. Bye bye.